Champions, this is Arian Tyson, the Dark Knight from St. Louis, Missouri, representing Slick Town to the fullest. And I just wanted to shoot a quick video with the hopes of encouraging someone that may be listening to this or looking at this online. I wanted to talk to you today in reference to a blog that I wrote earlier today, talking about the importance of progression, focusing on progression versus perfection. And it goes against conventional wisdom because we've always been taught that we should strive to be perfect in everything that we do. And the reality of the situation is we're not going to be perfect. And I really don't know why we've always been taught to be perfect, because that's just not reality. And in order for us to be a difference maker, in order for us to be able to inspire others and to be a role model for others, we have to really focus on being transparent. And being that none of us are perfect, we should stop trying to be perfect. What we should focus on is progression. What we should focus on is just being honest and being transparent with others, because our ability to be transparent, our ability to be vulnerable to the extent of sharing our story unapologetically will be the determining factor into what draws people to us, because all of us have a story that's unique in its own way, whether you had siblings or whether you're an only child. Your story is unique. You could even have a twin, but guarantee your story is still unique, because whether you have a twin or not, people don't always feel 100% the way you feel. And you just have to accept the fact that you are unique. There's nothing wrong with being unique, because quite frankly, it's too many people in the world trying to be like everybody else. Why can't you just be comfortable in your own skin, but also learn what it takes to get out of your own way? Because what that means is you're willing to recognize that it's not about you. See, the reason that I do these videos, the reason that I write these blogs is because it stopped being about me a long time ago. I'm here to encourage others. I'm here to be a blessing to others. That's my ultimate intention. It supersedes money. It supersedes becoming wealthy. It supersedes all of that. Ultimately, my goal is to leave a legacy, to be an example, not be perfect, because people have always told me that, they kind of always put me on a pedestal for some reason, and I never understood that, because when you put someone on a pedestal, nowadays it seems like they can do no wrong. And the fact is, I'm not perfect. I've never claimed to be perfect. I've never tried to be perfect, but I've just always tried to be my own person, because on their best day, there's only one Arian. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant manner. I'm just saying it factually. It's only one me. And you need to get to that place in space where you feel comfortable enough to say that it's only one you. Now, there are people that inspire me. There are people that I look up to. But there's only one me. There are people that influence me. I have two mentors in the business that I'm in. Their names are Tracy Walker and Nicole Cooper. But I'm doing a disservice to myself and to those that love me if I try to become a Tracy Walker clone or a Nicole Cooper clone. They are their own person. They're their own people. They've had their own growing pains. They have their own struggles. They've had, to endure what they've endured to get where they are. It just so happens that I'm inspired by it because they are where I want to be and where I'm going. And if you're in the place where you know what you want to do and you know where you should be, but you're not taking the steps to get there, then you need to take the steps now to get where you want to be. You need to lock arms with those who are where you want to be, who are going where you want to be. It's just that simple. It's not rocket science. Understand that to everything there is a season. We're not meant to be in the same place all the time, for 30 and 40 and 50 years. Look at what the job market is right now. I mean, how many, times do you hear about someone retiring nowadays after being at the same job, whether it was, the same position or multiple positions, but being at the same job for 30 and 40 years? That's not happening anymore. It's about progression, not perfection. And we need to understand that there are three things that I've noticed that will only be perfect. It's only three things. And being that today is the start of the NBA Finals, one thing that I can say will always be perfect is the fact that Michael Jordan won 6 NBA championships in 6 tries and was the MVP of all 6 NBA finals that he appeared in. That's the only thing, that's one thing that I can say will always be perfect. But he'll tell you himself, he didn't make every shot. He went through his growing pains, but when it came to the big stage, he executed. And that mark will never be touched. 6 rings, 6 titles, 6 chances, 6 MVPs. Nobody's going to touch that. The second thing that I can say that will always be perfect or will always have a perfect record is that Father Time will ultimately catch up to us. I don't care how physically fit you are. I don't care if you are a vegan or if you eat all the meat in the world. Father Time will always catch up with you. It is what it is. And the third thing, and to me this is the most important thing, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships, but simply in life in general, is you only make 100% of the shots you're not willing to take. Let me say that again. You only make 100% of the shots you're not willing to take. So what shots have you not taken? And why haven't you taken them? Is it because you're afraid? Is it because you failed? Is it because, you failed in the past? Is it because, it didn't turn out the way you wanted to the first chance? Well, like Aaliyah said, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. And just because you try again does not necessarily mean you failed. It just means that you're progressing. We were not called to be perfect. We were called to make progress. Are you making progress towards your goals and dreams? And if you're not, why aren't you? The only person that can answer that is you. You can't blame it on your environment. You can't blame it on your past. You can't even blame it on the people that's around you, because you have the ability to change the people that are around you. Everything I said is an excuse that most people make. When are you going to stop making excuses, and when are you going to start taking action? When are you going to start taking responsibility for your actions instead of blaming all your faults and failures on others? Sometimes you have to be your own worst critic. You have to. Because it reminds you of what the ultimate goal is. See, I'm my own worst critic, and anybody that knows me on a personal level knows that about me. Sometimes I'm too hard on myself, but I'm too hard on myself sometimes because I know what the ultimate goal is in my life. I know what my why is. If you don't have a why, get one now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, right now. Figure out what your why is and get to it. It's not going to happen overnight. You must respect the process. But in order for you to make progress, you have to leave the idea of being perfect and step to the plate. If you want to learn how to step to the plate and run with me, connect with me, because I'm going to ask you some questions. But I'm willing to work with you. If you're coachable, if you're honest, and if you can follow instructions. Leave your ego at the door, and let's get busy. I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love.